Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Dolores Tarver. I'm a licensed psychologist here in Georgia, and it is time for the TT Time with Dr. Tarver is a wellness-based podcast. It is not intended to be a substitute for a relationship with a licensed mental health provider. Guess who made it on a Tuesday again? I know it's been a whirlwind of a few weeks. It's good to join you again on our regular Tuesdays. We are going to postpone our segment on that caregiver sandwich generation for another date. Our speaker needs to attend to her self care, and we're all about that. But I did want to take some time to discuss just with you briefly. We're in this transition season. We've been talking a lot about navigating various aspects of transitions as you all come with me in this journey to 50. And you probably are feeling like I'm feeling, as if there just seems to be a shift that is going on just in our country right now. It seems like we are in a space where we're beginning to question things that maybe have been altered or feel like they're being altered or adjusted in real time. Like it feels as if you're maybe in an alternate reality to some extent. There was a lot of conversation around Charlie Kirk and people speaking out, and then people literally calling for their jobs in ways that I know a lot of you probably haven't seen and might have been a wee bit concerned about. And not because I think everybody is very clear. We don't advocate for violence. Nobody should be losing their lives. Our disagreement should never rise to a point where we're harming people simply because they have a different ideology than us. But I think everybody was just really confused about the response to people just having opinions, making statements about things, not disparaging, tearing down, breaking down, but being honest about how people show up and present themselves, and that it seems as if, the narratives were just so different. Okay, how are we describing this person so differently using the same information? And then you probably got some information that has been confusing or concerning, maybe to some extent, about vaccines and whether or not they're safe and who's eligible, and if pregnant women should take Tylenol or if that's right. And so I wanted to talk today about transitional spaces of when things are out of sync, out of sorts, different. They feel like there's a lot of confusion and there's a lot of misunderstanding, and you don't really know what to believe. And it seems as if you're questioning a lot of things, in that you have concerns about, like, what does this mean and where we're going. We have gotten through several transitional spaces probably in your lifetimes. I know most recently we navigated COVID. That was a first for us. That was a significant transition for a lot of people because it affected us on so many different levels. It affected us physiologically and psychologically and socially and financially and environmentally. And I think it also was a time when we're really questioning how much information is factual information, how much information is being fueled by fear, who's actually an expert, who can I trust, what's safe for me, setting boundaries with people, right? You all remember that, trying to navigate boundaries and figure out how I'm going to respond in ways that allow me to feel safe and cared for, and particularly if I have risk factors, not put myself in situations, not wanting to put people that we loved in situations, losing a lot of people. So we're in that grief transition space. It still boggles my mind that we lost that many people. Like, I still can't quite even wrap my mind around how many people that we lost. But then there were discussions about that, right? Like, is that really accurate? How much of that is true? And whether deaths actually caused by the COVID vaccine and not by COVID itself. And so we were in that space of, I think, really, really struggling with trying to navigate all of those things. And so I think we're kind of back in one of those places where we feel as if we're uncertain. So, in navigating transitions when you're uncertain, you're unsure, I want you to remember a few things. One, your anchors and your foundations and your values are going to carry you through anything that you're going to experience in your life, whether that's your faith foundation, whether that is the anchor of strong family ties, and that can be family by blood or family by choice, whether that is good friendship support, whether those are the safe spaces of being in community with people that have similar values, whether that is you nurturing your self-care and your wellness, or if that is you doing something that gives you meaning and purpose. Like, those anchors are the things that are going to get you through any periods of uncertainty in transition. That can be a breakup, that can be job insecurity and uncertainty, that can be being uncertain about your stability in terms of your home and if there might be a move on the horizon. I know we're still in that season of people being uncertain about what's going to happen with their jobs. There's still a lot of mergers. Companies are taking over other companies. And so people are still feeling like they might possibly be displaced. But those anchors are going to take you wherever you go. And no matter what other people are doing, right? Because I think this is the other important piece about being in transitional spaces, is that we will all respond in different ways. And your response and my response, though they are different, may work for us. And it doesn't mean that yours is worse and mine is better, or that yours is good and mine is bad. It just means that they're different. And so you're going to be in this season where, and hopefully some of you all have some intact relationships, because I know these are the kinds of things that can really cause us to question whether or not a relationship is a healthy one for us to be in when we're at odds on different sides of the spectrum. Um, right? So if you're in that space where an ideology for someone has shifted, a change has come. I know the rapture, right? Like, there's been a lot of TikTok in particular that has been focusing on the rapture coming today. You're going to see that we're in different spaces with our religious ideology, with where we stand on health and wellness, where we stand on politics, where we stand on values, right? And relationships and work ethics and income and all of these things. But there are unifying things that we often forget about in those relationships, and that we can negotiate and navigate. That there are going to be certain things that are just going to be off limits. There are certain conversations that I don't have with people, and not because I don't respect these people and care about them, but I know that our ideologies are just different. And so for us to get in dialogue can put us in a space that just is unnecessary, because we're in ideologies that aren't going to shift. When you know yourself really well, and this is kind of the third thing about navigating this, is you remain and are constant in whatever it is that you identify as important to you, right? And so, in addition to having the values, in addition to having the support, utilizing those things to get you through difficult times, keeping steady in your identity of who you are is going to help you navigate that as well. And when you're clear about that, it allows you to be able to better navigate boundaries, because there will be people who will attempt to push those boundaries and put you in spaces that aren't comfortable for you. When you say, hey, you all know we're October is starting next Wednesday, and which means we'll be in that holiday season. I think we might be about 90 days away from that holiday season. And for a lot of people, the holiday season is when these kind of conversations can definitely be very polarizing. And so, recognizing that we have spaces where we can enjoy each other and celebrate and have discourse, but have boundaries and rules around the discourse. And what you want to do is you want to go ahead and navigate those immediately, so that you don't put yourself in situations where then you're having to kind of flounder and figure out how you want to adjust, because you're already in the situation. I will also tell you that us recognizing we're grieving in these transitional spaces, because again, when you're in transition, that means that some things are lost. Some things will not come back. They won't ever be the same. They will be forever different. Some things may be able to move forward in different ways, but some things will not make it. They'll be discontinued altogether. And allowing yourself, giving yourself that grace, having that kindness, having that patience with yourself in that letting go process as well as you're grieving, that you're letting go of things, but you're making space for new things, that you're recognizing that there may be some shifts with some people that don't end up coming to this next leg of the journey for you. People are drawing some firm lines in the sand. And so you may recognize that our ideologies are just at such odds with each other, that it may just not be good for us to engage at all. And that can be really tough because these can be people who you consider friends. They might be coworkers, they may be neighbors, they may even be family members. And so that can be a very challenging kind of position to be in when you're just recognizing, like, I've got to say goodbye to that relationship, because it's hard for us to let go of people that we care about. But we do understand that letting them go allows them to be healthy and well and in the spaces that are going to nurture and nourish them, and that we need the same. And sometimes we're just not going to be in that same garden. You know how you used to be able to get um, a, a, a piece of somebody's weave with aloe plants, different things, right? So you take a little clipping from a plant from somebody else, and you go and you start your own, right? So they're connected because they share some things in common, but they're in separate gardens being nurtured. And they won't ever be back in the same garden again, and that's okay. Like, they can both thrive and flourish in their own separate gardens. There doesn't have to be the vitriol, there doesn't have to be the hatred, but it is just simply a recognition that we're going to be in our own different spaces. So I think being able to kind of understand that, and taking some time to take stock about what in your life at this given point during particularly all of the things that have happened and transpired over the past couple of weeks, what those transitions look like for you. Are they giving you anxiety? Are they giving you worry and concern, and you find yourself kind of ruminating and you're up and you need to take some time and be focused in your present, because we can be worried about what was and worried about what might be, that we're no longer actually being present in our everyday right now moments. And so drawing that awareness back to where you are, feeling that chair underneath you, feeling the wind, go sit outside. Young people say touch some grass. What does that feel like? What does it smell like? And so you're bringing the awareness back to what you need and what your body needs. And it's okay to be aware of the thoughts, but that I don't judge them, and I don't feel like I have to be responsible for doing something with every thought. Like, sometimes they need to just be waves, and they need to kind of roll on out to the sea, and that it's okay if I don't do something with every single thought. And it's also important that you all take breaks from the news. The news tends to be very anxiety provoking. I've shared that with you all before. And it gets us to a point where we're gloom and doom thinking, and we're oftentimes questioning what's next, and what's going to happen. And it starts the spiraling. And you may notice that you're not sleeping as well. You may notice that you're overeating, or maybe you're drinking a little bit more alcohol, or you might smoking a little bit more cigarettes, or you might have stopped smoking and you picked it back up, or you find that you're, biting on your nails, or that you're pacing a good bit, that your heart rate is elevated, because oftentimes, again, we're carrying that worry in our bodies. And so we want to be able to release that worry, and let it go. And sometimes I saw it's really cute exercise of thinking of your thoughts like you're on this conveyor belt. And so, you know how you used to see the cartoons and they'd have the things on the conveyor belt going. It was in one of the toy stores, right? We got to save them before they end up going into the furnace to be disintegrated. That's how thoughts are, that we let them go up that conveyor belt. We watch them go away, and we watch they can go up and just kind of disappear. You're not seeing them. Some of them might need to be disintegrated, so we can let them go. But sometimes it's important for us, again, to, in that releasing process, is whatever I practice becomes my process. And so if I continue to practice anxious thoughts, worrying about things over which I may not have any control, oftentimes I don't, and worrying about things that I don't have to attend to in this moment, then again, that becomes my process of being anxious and worried, as opposed to practicing being able to understand that there are going to be ebbs and flows, that there are going to be things that are stressful, and there are also going to be moments of calm. And so as I get in the space of allowing those to happen without feeling like I have to attend to everything, prepare for everything, have a crisis management plan for everything, have an emergency response plan for everything, that sometimes I can just be, and those thoughts can be, and they can be allowed to have space, and then they can be allowed to go ahead and fade away. All right, and that is easier said than done. I do understand. However, again, with practice, it becomes easier. I also want you all to know that when I tell people to take breaks from the news, they feel like, oh, well, what if something happens, right? That fear of missing out on something. What if there's something I really needed to know and I don't get that warning? The rapture is coming, and what if I don't know? If the rapture is coming, saints, the news won't be the one that let you know, okay? So you're good. But sometimes it is not that you're missing out on things, it is that you are not overstimulating yourself. And in transitional spaces, sometimes we can be absolutely overstimulated. And when we're overstimulated, that means there are parts of our bodies that are going to adjust. And we go to those trauma response patterns, which fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, right? So then I'm now reacting on the automatic process of using coping skills related to that. So I'm angry and I'm irritable and I'm snapping at people, or I am paralyzed and I can't do anything and I feel like I'm stuck, or I'm trying to escape, catch the first thing smoking to get out of here. Or I'm accommodating and doing all these other things for people to busy myself saying yes to all of this stuff that I don't really have time for. So instead of doing that, what we're going to do is we're going to take stock. Hey, what's causing my anxiety? What about this transition is uncomfortable? What are other times in my life where I've been successfully able to navigate those transitions? Who am I in terms of my identity, my core values, my beliefs that I can utilize to allow me to be able to navigate through this transition? Who's my team? Who's going to be there to help kind of talk me off the ledge, go for that walk with me, give me some journal prompts? We kind of process it in order for me to be able to release it. And again, that I'm taking the best care of myself, which might mean boundaries with others, but also within myself in terms of what I'm bringing in to decrease my anxiety during the space of transition. Also, trusted sources. You have providers who are trusted sources where you can get accurate information about your health and your wellness and what's best for you. That includes get your plug for your mental health counselor. That includes your mental health provider, but also your fitness, your financial, right? Your faith based. So you have a lot of options. You all know I believe in that good team. And during periods of transition, you know that I support you focusing on the team. The team is going to keep that dream going for you. So I say that all to say, in the uncertain times, in the times of transitions, lean into the things that allow you to have peace, and to understand that no matter what the outcome is, you already have everything that you need to be able to navigate it. All right. I'll see you all next week. Be well.